Streaming to you live on Rumble. I'm Gordon with Unlock Your Bioenergy. Today is Wednesday, June 10th, 2026. And it's day number 420. Wearing the incredible X39. The countdown is still on. 101 days are left to my big 50th birthday. And today I'm going to do a 9-minute warm up, and it's leg day. And then after that, I'll talk about an old place where I used to hang. And just for those who follow, I'm thinking you might find it interesting because I do have, how would you say, a strong passion for this kind of stuff. And so I'm taking the additional X49, putting it underneath the wristbands here, and that way I'm using the light, the IR, the infrared, the light technology to power my workouts. I don't need any creatine or any type of pre-workout. None of that stuff. None. And I've got energy like the Energizer Bunny. Keeps going and going and going. So here I'm wearing the heart rate monitor. See if it registers right away. Come on. Just waiting for it to initialize here. There we go, you can see. So synchronized. And today's workout for legs, I'm going to start with doing the warm up here. Set the oh. So today's tempo I'm going to set at let's go 150. Yesterday I did less. Today's going to be a little bit faster, and largely because I like changing things up with the pace and forcing my body to respond and see how it affects my heart rate as well. So here we see the 150. I'm going to do not the hit, I'm going to do the warm up. So today. All right, and let's begin. So with leg day today, the first exercise, as you see on the screen, is going to be the TKE, hip thruster squats. So this variation I don't think I've done before, but what it's going to do is focus on the closed chain movement of the quads. The squat's going to activate the lower, and the hip thruster portion is going to activate the glutes. So it's going to be like an interesting triple whammy, if you want to call it that. So it's going to be a complex type of movement. And then I will focus on these stretched quads, hamstring curls, fold bridges, tibia, and calf raises. This is a brisk pace, actually. So let's see what happens with my heart rate today. build that coordination. I'm going to try to do unbroken now. Crisscrosses. My goodness, my shoes. Feels very good, actually. I'm gonna grab some water. So with the first exercise, the TKE hip thruster squats, so we're going to take the, I'm going to try. Alright. This is where I need to take the blue bands. So I'm going to use, I'm going to do this here. With this particular exercise, I need to attach these to my knees. So with that, I'm going to take my shoes off. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm frugal and I want to save the Velcro on on these straps. So by doing it this way here, basically I am not stretching the Velcro part. You know, if you tear the Velcro over and over, attach it, it loses the fuzziness and the little, I don't know what to call the plastic ends, they lose their efficiency, I guess if you want to call it that. So the yes, I'm going to set this down here on the lower point. So I'm essentially kind of using the same weight for the TKE portion and the hip thruster portion. So just, sorry, I'm kind of thinking of things out loud here. So what I'm going to do is step into this here like this and then attach the, okay, yes, I'm going to use the black bands today. And okay. This is going to be a little bit tricky to kind of walk into the way I'm thinking about doing this now. So I'm going to set this up this way here, like this. And meanwhile, meaning because I want the weight, I'm going to step onto the step here. My feet, my ankles will be higher than my toes. So basically having squatting like this here, and with the bar here, the way I'm setting it up here, I'm going to walk into this or step over it somehow. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Okay. But before, so this is going to be like this. I'm going to take the vibration plate and place this somewhere in the center between, so I have tension on the band here. So it's going to go like this. Somewhere here, I'm not sure exactly where, but just figuring out where my, yes, okay. So here, this band is going to attach to this guy. So, oh, and I just realized that I need to hold this while, oh no, I don't need to do that. I just realized I was making it more complicated than I need it to be. So, this here is going to be tugging on the closed chain portion of here. So I'm going to squat. And I can do this without the bands, but I want to actually activate both the so you see how I've got this set up here? It's kind of a complex type setup, but it seems that way, but it's really not. It's pretty simple. Just looks complex to begin with. But the idea is to do this exercise here. This, now I'm gonna step into it and all right, so here I'm activating both. Oh yeah, I can really feel the glutes get involved because of the band pulling from behind me. And then there's a closed chain portion of this. So the idea is to focus on this part. So working the muscle in that chain, in this range of movement. And the reason being is because when you're on the field, you have your muscle, your body is moving in this kind of range of movement, especially if you're running. So here, squeezing the knees and also the hips at the same time. I'm getting pulled from behind. And I just realized that the tempo, I didn't adjust it. So here I'm holding it isometrically now. Can really feel the quads getting activated. Make sure you hinge at the hip, thrust forward. So this becomes like a three-dimensional type movement. 3D. Feels very good. Wow. Okay. And that's how I get out of it. Okay. Now, the next exercise is going to take, is going to just strictly isolate the quads, but from a stretched position. So meaning, keep getting pulled backwards here by that band. So with this variation, what I'm going to do is take this large anywhere anchor off and switch this to like this. And then I'm going to change the, come on, legs are fired up. I'm going to use a second set of ankle straps here, which I'm attaching to these blue bands that I repositioned on the wall. This is going to go over here. It's going to be here somewhere. Now, with this variation, yeah. I think this is where it needs to be approximately. Okay, that's good. So with this one here, I'm just going to kind of rotate my body more forward, and then I'm taking the bands here and I'm going to attach it to move my body away from the wall, so that way I have stretch here. Now on focusing on the quads, can do a wide kind of angle, a narrow if you wish, but here I'm just focusing on the quads from a stretch point. So here there's tension, I can put a little bit more. And just focusing on this stretch. And I realized I haven't adjusted tempo yet. So now I'm going to focus just around the very bottom, activating that muscle. And having the Bosu ball underneath me here provides a nice level of comfort where I can really focus on the quads and not have to worry about being on the concrete. Oh wow. activates the muscle. So if you want to build strength at the very bottom or at the stretch point, this is a very nice way of doing it safely. You can feel the muscle. Now, take these off. All right, next exercise is going to be hamstring curls. So that's where I'm going to switch to being on my stomach. Ouch. And since I have these guys on there, I'm just going to switch the anchor point. So using the same resistance now for the hamstrings. So I'm going to flex the hamstrings like I would a bicep, make like a bicep curl. All right. Just a little bit more. All right, so here we go. So the idea here is to use the same vibration now as a disturbance to activate those fibers while with the strong tension. And there's when I first purchased this vibration plate, it came with a 4 sets of different bands, which you actually attach to the vibration plate itself. And if I were to take the strongest band, it wouldn't be the same resistance as what I have here attached to the wall. Largely because the design of the bands are not intended to be heavy resistance. So if you're thinking these bands are not heavy resistance, well then I encourage you to give it a try, and then you'll see for yourself how your body responds to it, because when you add the resistance with the vibration, the amount of activation you get from it is so strong. It is very effective. All right, so here I'm just focusing on isometric holds, so holding it isometrically throughout the entire range of movement. And by doing that, you're causing the muscle to twitch within that range of movement, and it creates double the activation, triple the activation, I would think, probably, because it's causing your muscle to fire every time the amplitude changes. And it's one thing to do a linear type of movement. So here I'm pointing my toes up towards the ceiling, and it changes how it feels. Oh, wow. Okay. Next up is ball bridges. So this time I'm going to remember to adjust the, so you can see the metronome. And before I do that, I'm going to change the position of the so the tempo is beating at 150, which is okay. It actually changes the feel as well. Then I'm going to grab a 30-pound weight, so that's going to be the green here. So you can see black, white, orange, and green. So that's 30 pounds. And I'm going to put that on my, my hips while laying down on my back here. Where's the remote? Oh goodness. Oh, it's behind me. I guess I really don't need it, but... Oh. So, by taking the weight here like this, I set it up. So, with the exercise ball, there we go. There we go. So I just use my fingers to support the weight, and now I'm working the glutes again, along with the hamstrings together. So a strong posterior chain workout or movement. So the idea is to get the hamstrings and the glutes to work together, and in doing so, with the vibration, they get activated within the small range of movement here. So if I had, let's say, a bench that I'd put underneath my shoulders, then I could create a deeper stretch or a bigger hinge. But because I already did a pretty deep stretch with the first exercise, the TKE hip thruster squat, this here is just basically complementing that, but focusing on the very end of it. So that's the idea behind it. So not necessarily stretching the glute as much this time around. And the same for the hamstrings. So here it's focusing at the very start of the its movement. So you can change by having here now, holding it here like this with your knees bent all the way through. So now holding it this way, dropping the hips down, thrusting them up, curl. So this is what I like to do to strengthen those glutes and the posterior side, because with the amount of skipping I do, the hip flexors get a lot of, and the abductors get a lot of work. When you do running step, high knees. So with this here, I'm trying to complement and strengthen the posterior chain. Oh. Okay, there we go. With the metronome beating faster, it makes it go by. Seems like it goes quicker, which helped today because last week I got kind of impatient with the time. All right, next up is the tibia. So that's where I'm going to take the blue bands that I have here and reattach the ankle straps that I took off before on both the left and the right side. And this is where you're going to take the vibration plate this time and turn it parallel with the wall. Somewhere there, I think. And I'm going to take the ankle straps and put it on my, as you can see here, I'm showing you. So around the ball of, let's say, where my big toe and my foot connect, that pinch, that connection point, I don't know what it's called. So the idea here is to, you can turn this into a hip flexor exercise if you wish, as well, by sitting on the vibration plate and then pulling like this. So, you know, I could do that next week. I'll think about that, doing a hip flexor / tibia exercise, so combining it. I'll do that next week. All right. So, here I am. You want to lift your toes away from the wall, so as if you're lifting your toes off the ground, and you want the vibration to activate that tibia. Create the blood flow there to strengthen it. Now I'm just lifting my ankles a little higher so that way the ankle straps don't fall off my shoes, and I'm pointing my feet towards toes, so as if I'm standing on my tippy toes, and now moving them as if I'm standing straight up, or standing normally on the ground. Now all the way up the rest of the way. Hold it isometrically. Release. Now lift my ankles up a little bit. Point the toes towards the wall. Pull back throughout the range of movement all the way. So this is working the tibia. All right. For me, this muscle is pretty strong. I could probably go another band higher because I do have the strength for it. I can control this pretty easily, and I attribute this level of control with the amount of skipping that I do. So if you find skipping hard, difficult, maybe because of your body weight, then this is a way that you can target the tibia and help strengthen it without the skipping. Initially, but I do recommend doing some skipping because it helps with your lymphatic system. And lymphatic drainage. So that's a bonus. So here, I'm raising my toes away from the wall, holding that position isometrically, feeling the burn that's happening. I'm feeling it now. I'm still holding it. Keep holding it if you can. And if you're finding that you're dropping, like as if you're doing a pull-up and you're dropping all the way down, keep trying holding on to it. And the timer's up here. So, there we go, that's the tibia. Next up is calf raises. So, that's where I'm going to take the first band that I had, or the first setup here, and I'm going to use these black bands today. See how it goes. But with that, I'm also going to attach the other straps here that I have. This is the anywhere anchor, so I'm going to use these guys instead of the door anchors. so it's a minute here to set it up. And the reason being is because I want to have the strap here attached all the way at the widest point, so that way I can change the position of my step in relation to my torso. So attaching that here, and I'm not worried about this breaking because this 2x4 can take a lot of stress. 2x4s are pretty strong. You have to put on a few 100 pounds to break this. But with the vibration, you don't need to have that type of resistance, because the muscle activation that you get from the vibration is very, very strong. It's very pronounced. Alright, so I'm going to change this down to 60 beats per minute. So the just gonna make that kind of even. Yeah, about there. All right, so last but not least is the so here I am standing now. Doing calf raises. So by holding the calf muscle isometrically, the vibration and my weight here, so, and being on the step here, the 2x4 height above the vibration plate itself gets an extra stretch on the calf at the very stretch point. So as if I'm sprinting, so I'm getting its more or less the full range of its movement and activating the calves. So you can get into explosives. Holding it isometrically. Oh, the calves are starting to burn. That's good. So here I'm standing on my tiptoes with the resistance, agitating the calf muscle. Feels very good, very good. All right. Oh, wow. Okay, so let's Let's have a look at today's heart rate results. Almost 400 or 423 calories based off the counter there. It's kind of interesting. So today's date stamp, June 10th, 2026. Starting time at 2:28 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So you can see here, that it's I'm doing a screencast. Maximum heart rate I hit today was only 165. So for me, it felt comfortable. I could still, my breathing rate is very, very relaxed at that heart rate. And so that's the zone for me. 165 to 186 is a moderate zone. And then when I start getting higher echelons, that's when, I'm in above the 200. So, and it's interesting to see how you can see it's sawtoothing here on a strong recovery. And then really what happened there. So, I see here that my heart rate got blocked. Probably when I was doing the, I think I know which exercise, when I was laying on my torso or on my stomach on the Bosu ball doing the quad extensions. So my hand blocks the signal that gets transmitted to the phone. So hence why there's no heart rate there. Excuse me. And then at the very end there, my heart rate is quite strong. And oh, wow. So pretty good effort today for leg day. I'm fairly certain I'm going to feel tomorrow the effort that I put my body through today, at least the posterior chain and so forth. So, which brings me to my next topic, which is the I mentioned an old place where I used to hang out. And I've prepared here some photos, and I called it Reminiscing. And largely because a colleague of mine, his name is Josh, he says, a gym where we used to work out together. He says, the whiteboard has not been touched since we wrote on it. And this is the picture of that particular whiteboard that you see on the screen here. And which I'll zoom in here. And he said to zoom in on what you see. So that whiteboard here is this picture, I think. So you can see that whiteboard is right here in this area that is got weights. And Josh and I used to work out in this particular room. And that was way back when, I think it was in 2016. So it's 10 years ago. And on this board, I wrote a time that you can see here. So 500-meter row on a Concept 2 rowing machine, I set a time of 1:42.5. And when I think back to those days and I compare it to my conditioning that I have today, I have a pretty strong feeling that I could beat that time of 1:42.5. Largely based off of the log that I have. That's the fitness stress testing log, where I've been doing the skipping with that black rope, and how good I was back in 2018 compared to how I am today. 8 years later. And for me, I would feel pretty confident in saying that I could beat that time of 1:42. And during those days, I was in real good shape, much younger. And but when I compare it to today, I think I'm a step higher today, largely because of the choices that I'm making. I wasn't drinking deuterium depleted water back in 2016, nor was I doing the X39 or the X49. So just those three things alone have made the difference for me. And so when I talk about, feeling the benefits and comparing, to what's there. So that's another picture of the weights. And here's so this room had mirrors and had some barbells there and even a punching bag. That punching bag showed up just before, well, kind of left because we got moved back into another office. There was also some renovations that were happening, so that's why it was we were granted access to this particular room. And then once the renovations were done, then it was basically lost access, which is fair. So in that room there was a smith machine, and there's a battle rope and plates and a variety of different things. And there you can see that's the Concept 2 rowing machine right there. And they tilt it upwards so that way it creates some space and for other things, and you just use whatever. And that was some interesting times. Josh says I miss those days, even though he had he said what did he say here? Torn 2 groins and a torn shoulder. And I said, had I known about the X39 back then, we would have been doing it. Because I'm fairly certain he would have reaped the benefits from it. And still, today, he would reap the benefits if he chooses to do so. But everybody's, usually doing something only until they're forced to. And it's unfortunate. Right? Don't be one of those people to do something when you have to. Be proactive, because there is a way to live well, live long, and live young. And I'm proving it to you right here. Power your DNA with the best. Pull the trigger to experience the benefits, as you see on the screen. And when you live a healthy lifestyle with the 3 amigos, AHK, GHK, and glutathione, they all work together. So there is no, how would you say, complexity behind it. It's very simple. Very simple. It's just, you just need to think and be consistent with your methods. And I'm trying to do that here live on Rumble, and to prove it to you that I am not some AI, artificial intelligence guy. I'm as old school as they get. And I like to keep things simple but also effective. And when it comes to powering the body, so you can achieve that too with a little bit of consistency, but with good choices as well. So when it comes to powering my body with the 3 amigos, I search for foods that contain those amino acids and make sure that you're getting copper as well. So if you do decide to pull the trigger on the X39 and the X49, okay, or the YH Renew, which is for glutathione production inside the body, you got to make sure that you have the fuel there. And now when I talk about deuterium depleted water, and the hydrogen bond angle of 114 degrees. Well, that water is the cleanest and most absorbable version of hydrogen and oxygen, and at the isotope level. And isotopes are the secret for managing and maximizing your longevity, because hydrogen is known to be in three different states. One of them is radioactive, and the only way you can remove that radioactivity from the water or from the isotope itself is to rapidly heat and cool it. And that's why the patents exist for the process to create the product, the end result. And the end result is it does marvels inside the body. There's no reason why I don't have the energy as I do, skipping at 150 beats per minute with the metronome. And, when I'm doing the fitness stress testing, I'm pushing 228. That's a fast pace. It's fast. To do it for 250 skips, try it. Try it. See if you got the endurance to do it. And when your body is looking for energy, now if you're going catabolic, then you're going to lose the muscle, right? And so all those people out there that are looking at GLP, don't do it. I recommend not to, because there's a lot of people that are stating they're losing 20 and 30% of their muscle, and that's because of the GLP is basically turning off the pathway, or whatever it's doing is not good for the body. Long term, no way. Your muscle is the key to longevity. Just think about it. If you fall down and you break your hip because you got no muscle, well then whose fault is it? It ain't mine. Not. It's going to be your very own self. So be smart about it. Think long term. You want to be able to get out of bed when you're older. If you want to be in an old folks home at the youngest age, well then go down the path of doing GLP-1. You'll get there quicker. And then don't blame me for warning you not to do it. Because good health is not complicated. It should not be. But the choices out there are complicated, and they're confusing people. Too many people are falling victim to it. And it just really bothers me. Hi, Phil. If you're watching, I hope your guns are growing like mine. Okay? I hope they are. Maybe one day I'll get to take a photo side by side, and we'll measure. We'll see whose guns are bigger. I don't know if you're taller than me. You might be. But that's a topic for another day. So, with that, that's it for today. Tune in tomorrow for Thirsty Thursday. I'll be doing shoulders, rotators, and traps. And I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please show me a thumbs up, like, comment. Follow the links as you see in the comments. And pull the trigger. You can do it risk-free on the X39. Feel its power. Visit Unlock Your Bioenergy and learn about it. There's some excellent material there that I have connected to the studies and so forth, and that connect to PubMed as well. So it's legitimate stuff. It's worth your time looking at it, and unlock your bioenergy with me. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.